It seems like every month or so we're announcing the latest Chat GPT killer. Well, Anthropic's Claude has just released their latest model, and it is really impressive and feels super intelligent. And yes, I'm saying it now, it is the Chat GPT killer. Let's check it out. So as mentioned, Anthropic have released Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So earlier in the year, they released their suite of large language models called Claude HiQ, Claude Sonnet, and Claude Opus. And Claude Sonnet was the sort of powerful but free version, and Claude Opus was the pro model. Now they have released Claude 3.5 Sonnet, as you can see here. Today we're launching Claude 3.5 Sonnet, our first release in the forthcoming Claude 3.5 model. It raises the industry bar for intelligence, outperforming competitor models and Claude 3 Opus. But remember, Claude 3 Opus is their pro model, and this Claude 3.5 Sonnet is free, outperforms their pro model on a wide range of evaluations with the speed and cost of our mid-tier model Sonnet 3. And here's a little diagram here just to demonstrate. Here you can see on the intelligence benchmark scores. So this is based on a load of tests that large language models use to see how sort of intelligent it is. And then the cost per million tokens across here. So you've got here down here, which is their sort of small, easy, fast model, Claude 3 HiQ. Then you've got their original Claude 3 Sonnet here in the middle. And then you have their Claude 3 Opus, which is their pro model, paid for model up here. But Claude 3.5 Sonnet, as you can see, is a significant leap. I mean, a big leap above its predecessor, Claude 3 Sonnet. But look, it is more intelligent, according to the benchmark scores, than their existing pro model, Claude 3 Opus, as you can see. And yet the cost per million tokens is the same as Claude 3 Sonnet. Claude 3.5 Sonnet sets new industry benchmarks for graduate level reasoning, undergraduate level knowledge, and coding proficiency. These are all based on industry standard tests. And the coding proficiency is really impressive. And I'll be showing you why very shortly. If you have a quick look at the sort of score charts here, this is based on these various sort of benchmark tests that the large language model industry use to test their models. As you can see here, here is GPT-4o. Okay, GPT-4o, which is OpenAI's latest model, their multimodal model, launched with a very impressive demo a couple of months ago. And here's Gemini 1.5 Pro. And then in comparison, you can see here, so graduate level reasoning, 59.4% as opposed to 53. So better there. GPT-4o is 0.4% better. So that's next to nothing there. Coding, 92%. So 2% more than ChatGPT and significantly more than Gemini 1.5. Multilingual maths, 91.6, so a whole percentage better. Reasoning over text, 87.1 as opposed to 83.4, so nearly 4% points higher. Mixed evaluations, there's no comparison, but really high here. Compare it to Gemini 1.5 Pro, you see. Maths problem solving, ChatGPT still leads the way there. And grade school maths, 96.4%, and there isn't an equivalent there, but that's a whole 6% higher than Gemini 1.5, as you can see there. So out of all these tests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it only falls just short by 0.4% there, a bit more here, heavy here on the maths problem solving here. But other than that, Claude 3.5 Sonnet performs really well based on industry benchmark tests. But of course, the real test is, day-to-day use. Now, just to say, it's multimodal as well. State-of-the-art vision. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is our strongest vision model yet, surpassing Claude 3 Opus on standard vision benchmarks. These step change improvements, and it is a step change, it's not a small change, it is a step change, are more noticeable for tasks that require visual reasoning, like interpreting charts and graphs. Claude 3.5 Sonnet can also accurately transcribe text from imperfect images, a core capability for retail, logistics, and financial services, where AI may glean more insights from an image, graphic, or illustration from text alone. So it's very good at reading not just sort of text in a text document, but text in an image. And then there's a video here to demonstrate. On its vision, 4% higher than the latest model from OpenAI, only 0.5% there on science diagrams, slightly less here. So Chat GPT 4.0 win on visual question answering, chart question and answers, a whole 5% better, and document visual Q&A, so question and answers based on a visual document, a whole 2.5% or so, 2.6% higher over here. So as you can see, again, it's performing really well. And where it does perform better, it performs significantly better in some cases. Like here, the chart Q&A, a whole 5% better is impressive stuff. But the really cool thing is this thing that they've got called artifacts. And we're going to be using that a lot, especially when it comes to coding and stuff. And there's a quick diagram here of how they use artifacts. Today, we are introducing artifacts on Claude AI, a new feature that expands how users can interact with Claude. When users ask Claude to generate content like code, snippets, text documents, or website designs, these artifacts appear in a dedicated window alongside their conversation. This creates a dynamic workspace where they can see, edit, and build upon Claude's creations in real time, seamlessly integrating AI-generated content into their project workflows. Well, that's all well and good, of course, but how does it actually perform in the real world? Well, we're going to be testing it out, and I'll show you right now. We go over to Claude here. To be able to use artifacts, what you need to do is click on your sort of name logo in the top right-hand corner here, and then down here, come to Feature Preview, click on that, and then you'll see here artifacts. Ask Claude to generate content like code snippets, text documents, or website designs, and you make sure you click it on here like that, and then you should be good to go. So I've been having a lot of fun with this. So I'm going to show you some examples of stuff that I've done recently. The first thing I did here, just as a quick example, create me a simple tic-tac-toe game where I play against the computer. Certainly I'll create a simple tic-tac-toe game where you play against the computer. I'll use Python for this implementation. Okay. And then what happens is it comes up with this code here. And then I go, well, no, I want to be able to play the game. This is great. I don't want to have to kind of copy this and then put it in a notepad document and then open it in a browser to play it. But it explains this Python script implements a simple tic-tac-toe game where you play against the computer. The game board is represented as a 3x3 list, and it breaks it all down in great, clear detail. But I say here, create it so I can play within the artifact window. So it goes, certainly, I'll create a React component that allows you to play tic-tac-toe directly within the artifact window. And then what you get is this. So you've, on one tab here, you've got the code. And on the other tab here, you've got the game itself. And here we are, simple tic-tac-toe game, nothing complicated. Click in there, computer's turn, click in there, boom, I win. Brilliant, easy. So then I go, okay, add a little fireworks celebration. So there's a winner, it does it again, but it didn't come up with it. But it explains the logic that it's using. It also explains what it's doing, the components that it's using, and all of that. Didn't work first time. So I said, okay, I'm not seeing the firework component. And it goes, apologies, confusion, you're right. The firework component isn't showing up as expected. Let's modify our approach to make the celebration effect more visible and ensure it works within the constraints of our React component in the artifact window. So we get the new one. It's done all the code. Play the game. There we go. And we just get basically these poppers or firework things here. Nothing amazing, but that was just its first test. And it did that really, really super quick. And I'll sort of demonstrate how quick it is. Let's do something new here. Create a game version of the word game Hangman. Okay. So boom, here we go. See how quick that is? I've not speeded this up. It's responding. It's creating it. This will be an interactive component that users can play directly in the browser. There we go. I've created a visually pleasing interactive hangman game using React. Here's a breakdown of the main features. The game logic. The component manages the game state, including the secret word, guess letters, remaining guesses, and game status, and all of that. So it's got all the details. Styling, the game uses Tailwind CSS. I'm not a programmer, right? I don't know Python. I don't know Tailwind CSS. I know a tiny bit of old HTML. Well, that's it. And yet you saw how quick that was. Less than 30 seconds, I'd say. So let's sort of play a game. Let's go something E. Yeah, we got an E. Is there an N in there? No. Oh, dear. A. Yes. I'm going to go peach or R. Let's go R. C. H. T. Yes. Congratulations. You've guessed the word. And there we are. So you can add things to that. I just wanted to show you a very simple bit of coding and how quick that is. And as I say, if we go back to some of the things, other things I've been doing, create me a simple asteroids type game in the artifact window. And again, certainly I'll create a game using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then you get this very simple, this sort of simple asteroid game. Okay. Very simple, nothing, you know, complicated or anything like that. Very simple. So then I go, look, add some stars in the background. I didn't see any stars. I said, I'm not seeing any stars. It tells you what it's doing. So it doesn't just do it. It explains within the programming context, within the code, what it's doing. You know, I added a new function called create stars, brackets num stars, that generates a specified number of stars and adds them to the SVG element. Okay. I said, I'm not seeing any stars. So it did it again. No, this time we get the stars, but the spaceship's not very exciting. So I said here, create an 8-bit spaceship. So it did. And there we are. A bit small. We could kind of build on that if we want to and stuff like that. So there we go. Really, really fun game. Super simple. It maybe took me 2 or 3 passes. I mean, it got the game in the first pass. I remember trying to create this game on another video I did ages ago, and it took a number of goes to get it right. But you can really build on it. Once you've got the basic game, you could build on the graphics and stuff like that. But it's not all about programming and stuff like that, but you can get it to do websites, visual reasoning, create infographics, and all those sort of things. So then I thought I'd test it a bit more to see its knowledge. I've always kind of wondered whether you could get a large language model like ChatGPT or like Claude help you with creating special effects or effects in DaVinci Resolve. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit my videos, and it has a sort of an FX element to it called Fusion. And in there, it uses something called nodes. And that's a bit above my editing knowledge, really. It can be quite complicated. I'm not that knowledgeable of using nodes in DaVinci Resolve. So I asked it, create a node design for DaVinci Resolve that has a title zoom in on the screen. And it goes, sure. And then it breaks it down in text form here. This is what you need to do. So these are the instructions that I'd need to use in DaVinci Resolve, and looking at them, they all seem, correct. But then I thought, I want to see what it actually looks like. So in DaVinci Resolve, you actually have a node diagram. So I said here, can you show that in node format? And it goes, sure. So in DaVinci Resolve, this is what it will look like. So not only will I be able to create this, I'll be able to check to see what it actually looks like within DaVinci Resolve. And if that all works, you will see a title zooming in now. But that's really, really useful and really, really practical for someone like me who is not that good at using nodes in something like DaVinci Resolve. Okay, what about something more sort of useful and creative? So I have another channel that is all about lifestyle videos for men over 50. And I started writing the prompt, and then I actually thought, I'll write the prompt that I think I need, but then I'll ask to improve the prompt. I put, help me improve this prompt. I'm a YouTube content creator that makes videos aimed at people, specifically men in their 50s and over, and explores all sorts of lifestyle, health, relationship ideas, blah, blah, blah. And it came up with this beautiful long prompt. And then it says, at the end, would you like me to generate some video ideas based on this prompt? This is exactly what I was using it for. So yes, please. And then it came up with these 10 really awesome video ideas for the channel with a description for each. Now, some people say the problem with Claude, the censorship is a bit high and, it's useless. You can't do anything with it. I do question what people are actually asking it if they have consistent problems with that. However, I have encountered that problem. I uploaded this thumbnail to an earlier version of Claude to give it advice. And it said, sorry, I'm not going to advise you on that. It's got a negative stereotype about aging. Yeah, this is the thumbnail. Help me improve this YouTube thumbnail. And then it came back with this. This thumbnail already has several strong elements. Nice. But I can suggest some improvements to make it even more effective. Contrast. The yellow text box for have to sucks provides good contrast and draws attention. Consider applying a similar high contrast technique to aging doesn't, this bit here, aging doesn't, to make it equally eye-catching. Really good design advice. Image composition. The man's face could be positioned slightly more to the left, giving more space for the text and allowing his expression to be fully visible. It's really good analysis. While the current expression is engaging, more exaggerated or emotive expression. So it knows that I'm not, emoting over the top here in this image. It's just a sort of, So it's saying, be more expressive. The font is clear, but you could experiment with a bolder or more unique font that maintains readability. Blue gradient is clean, but adding a subtle texture or pattern and depth. Consider adding a small logo or icon in one of the corners for brand recognition. The current colors could try incorporating another accent color to make it pop even more. Visual elements, adding small relevant icons or graphics related to aging or vitality could enhance the message. Text sizing, aging doesn't, could be slightly larger to balance with have to suck, to make that slightly larger. The hand gesture is good, but position it more prominently or using a more dynamic gesture could add energy to the image. So really, useful ideas on how to improve a thumbnail. Let's do some more visualization and just see how quick it is. Okay, so I'm just uploading this old picture of my Stadia controller. Let's see what it is. And it's got it. The image shows a Google Stadia controller being held in someone's hand. The Stadia controller is black with orange accent. And then it goes on here. So it's got a description about it. And then it goes, Google Stadia was, past tense, a cloud gaming service developed by Google. It allowed users to stream video games to their devices without needing a dedicated gaming console or high-end PC. Launched in November 29, correct. But was discontinued in January 2023, correct. So there we go. All very, very cool. Now, when I say it's free, I mean, it is free to a certain, but you have a limited number of sort of queries that you can do before you sort of get locked out of it. I got so carried away with it that I was in the middle of something and then it said, oh, you can't make any more queries until 5 p.m. later today. So it is free, but you can't rinse it in one session, put it that way. Okay, let's do something a bit more challenging. Let's compare the health services across sort of France, a Scandinavian country, Japan and UK, because France is meant to be quite good as well, and see what it comes up with. So then we are, we've got universal health care system in France, universal tax funded healthcare system in Denmark, universal healthcare system in Japan, United Kingdom National Health Service, primary providers, free at the point of use, known for universal coverage, but facing capacity issues, correct. Government healthcare spending per capita, approximately $3,500 per person. Japan is $4,500. Denmark is $5,000. And France is $4,000. So for all our wonderfulness of the NHS, which is, is great, the reason other healthcare systems around the world is better is because they spend more per capita per person. I mean, look at Denmark, $5,000 per person. France is $4,000. Okay, but let's make this a bit more exciting. Produce an infographic of these of this comparison in the artifacts window. Okay, so let's see what it's going to do. I've no idea what it's going to do. So it's going to use a React component. Here we go. And there we go. Look at this. Let's break it down into a nice little infographic. I've created an infographic comparing the healthcare systems of France, Denmark, Japan, and the UK using a React component. Oh yeah, each individual cards for each country there. Very nice. And then the per capita spend here. And there's little lowly UK. The infographic should now be visible in the artifacts window. It provides a clear visual comparison, blah, blah, blah. So there we go. So sort of a complex question. I answered it, some information, then do a chart. Brilliant. I mean, it's just really, really useful, really, really powerful. Let's do one final thing on the creative side in the form of Dr. Seuss about AI. Okay, what I really like about Claude Sonnet 3.5, it's the speed. It's super fast. Okay, here's an original poem about AI in the style of Dr. Seuss, taking care not to reproduce any copyright materials. That is very interesting. I've not seen that before. Oh, the thinks that AI can think. That's really good. In a world full of data so shiny and new, there's nothing a thing called AI, with much it can do. It learns and it grows with each passing day, solving puzzles and problems in its own special way. It can spot a cat picture or write you a tale, predict the weather or sort through your mail. From ones and from zeros, it builds something grand, a digital brain at humanity's command. But AI is not magic. It's not all-knowing too. It's a tool we've created to help me and you. It needs human guidance, our ethics and care to ensure that its power is used fair and square. So let's use AI wisely with wonder and awe as we step to the future that no one yet saw. For the thinks that will think and the things we'll invent when humans and AI work with one intent. I quite like this, the thinks that AI can think. That's quite clever, really. That's very Dr. Seussy. Create a diagram for the poem. See if it will work. Okay, I'll use a mermaid. I didn't know about this diagram to represent the key concepts and flow the poem visually. Wow, that's interesting. That's not what I was expected. The central concepts are represented by nodes with different colors. That's interesting. But I can't read it. Digital brain, not all knowing, using AI wisely. So it's breaking it down into sort of nodes and sections. That's curious. I don't think it can create images yet. That's the thing, but it can create diagrams and charts, diagram flows and things like that. So that's really, really useful. As I said, I'm really impressed. I mean, I cannot code, and yet it is producing workable code, one shot level. So like one go and you've got like a working program. You can create elements of a web page and stuff like that, and boom, off you go. You can see how this is going to impact on jobs straight away, because this coding stuff works, and you can just then extrapolate out all the other things that, you know, large language models will be able to do and replace. And you know, at the moment, sometimes I always feel the hype is slightly higher than the actual implementation. But for the first time with Claude 3.5 Sonnet, I'm actually seeing real results very quickly that you can then build on. And I'm really, really impressed. And yes, this is the new king of large language models without a doubt. And you know what? It's free. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do when they launch Claude Opus 3.5, which is their pro model. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch as well. And I guess its next move, OpenAI. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, then please hit the likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And of course, if you're new to my channel, then do me the great honor. Please hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content just like this. Talking of content just like this, why don't you check out these videos over here? These ones here. Thanks for watching.